Hello, dear students. I am Samir Velankar. I welcome all of you to this another video on linked list data structure. In this video, we are going to see a problem of how to print a singly linked list in reverse order. What is so challenging about this question is, assume that we have a singly linked list in which every node stores only single integer data. To keep it simple, actually every node can store any data. For example, every node can store data of student or data of employee. But let's assume that every node stores only a single integer data, and there is a header pointer called first pointer pointing to the very first node, and the last node, like storing 40, is having null as its next pointer. Now we want to print this linked list in reverse order, means the output should be 40, 30, 20, 10. So what's so challenging about this is that there is no way, no direct way in which we can print this by traversing the list. Assume that we are at 40. Imagine we know the address of 40 and we have reached 40. So we can print 40, no doubt about it. But if we are at 40, there is no way by which we can go back to 30, because the node 40 does not store address of 30. Similarly, if we are at node 30, we know the address of 30, we will reach this node 30 and we will print 30. But there is no way by which 30 can take us to 20, because 30 does not store address of 20. We can't go backward in this singly linked list. We can only go from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So printing a singly linked list in reverse order is a bit challenging. Now, one method of doing this is to use an array. So what we will do in our program is we'll declare a single dimension array. So this will be an extra space used by our program. Actually, the problem was to print singly linked list, but for printing the singly linked list, we have to declare an array, let's say A, and then what we will do, we will start our usual traversal. We will go to 10, and then we will store that 10 or copy that 10 in the 0th element or in the beginning location of the array. Then using our usual traversal technique of linked list, using the next pointer over here, we will reach 20, and we will store this or copy this value, copy the value 20 in the next location of the array. And we will keep doing this till the traversal of the linked list gets finished, till we reach the null pointer of 40. Now all the values which were stored in the linked list are stored sequentially in the array. Now we will start from the last used location of the array, and we will traverse backwards and print this array backwards using a reverse for loop, doing something like for I is equal to n minus 1, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. We will go backward in the array, and hence we will get the output 40, 30, 20, 10. This is a correct solution which we just orally saw, just seen. We have not written the solution for this, but this is a bigger solution. I mean, you will require longer code for doing this and an extra space also. Using an extra space like an array is a bit challenging as far as memory is concerned. Just imagine you have got a linked list of, let's say, 10,000 nodes, and you want to print it in reverse order. Then extra space of 10,000 locations. 10,000 locations you will have to reserve in the memory just for printing the linked list in reverse order. So although this solution is correct, no doubt, but it is not used regularly for solving the problem of printing linked list in reverse order. The best thing that we can use is recursion. So let's see recursive function for printing singly linked list in reverse order. What we do is we call a function called print reverse from main, of course, from main function. This print reverse henceforth will be called in short by me as PR. Print reverse is getting a pointer P as a parameter. This pointer P is pointer to a node structure, and all these 10, 20, 30 are nodes. What we are going to do is we will start this print reverse function from main. Imagine the main function. Main function is going to call print reverse by passing first. See what print reverse is called as. Print reverse is called by passing the pointer first. And you know pointer first is pointer to a node. It is pointing to 10. So the local parameter P of this print reverse, which is a node pointer, is a new pointer which points to 10 because first points to 10. So if you run this recursive function, PR, print reverse called in short, has a pointer called P, parameter P, and P is right now at 10, at node 10. So we have a pointer P which points to 10 because first pointer was copied in the parameter P, correct or not? So now we can say that print reverse function is running with pointer P pointing at 10. Now if you start this function, there is a if statement. If P is not equal to null, and correct, it is P is not equal to null because P is pointing at 10, P is storing address of 10. So the two statements written in the if will run. The first statement itself is a recursive call. So print reverse function will call print reverse. So in the recursive tree, in the recursive stack, you can say print reverse P gets called again. P is the parameter. But what is the parameter P now going to receive? Strictly speaking, parameter P, this parameter is going to receive P arrow next. Now what is P arrow next? Let's observe our diagram. P arrow next. This one, P arrow next, is nothing but pointer to 20. It's storing this next of 10 is storing address of 20. That means print reverse has been called recursively by passing P arrow next means we are passing address of 20, and that address of 20 gets copied in the parameter P. So the new function starts, recursive function starts with P, the pointer pointing at 20. What that means is there is a new pointer P which now points at 20 and a new function. The new function is print reverse P with P pointing at 20. So all of you know the basics of functions. There are two functions running now. Please try to understand. If you are able to see memory with naked eye, in the memory you will see print reverse running two times. Well, the first print reverse is still running, but it is suspended because it had called recursive call. So it has to wait till the second print reverse ends. So the first print reverse function, print reverse P, has P at 10. So the P which I am overwriting now, you observe P which is at 10 is still there in the memory. And print reverse P with P at 20, the P at 20 is also there. Both P's are available in the memory, and every P is local to its function. It's a local parameter of the function. So let's run this print reverse, the new print reverse with P at 20. If you start the fresh function, P is still not null because P is pointing at 20. So the if statement will run calling print reverse recursively again with P arrow next. Clearly observe P arrow next means 20 is next. So print reverse function gets called recursively by passing address of 30. And that address of 30 indeed gets copied in the parameter P again. So in the recursive tree, we have print reverse running again with parameter p with p storing the address of 30. So a new function starts, a new pointer p is allocated for its own function. Running this fresh function now, print reverse p with p at 30. What you see when you run the function is p is still not null because p is at 30. Then the if statement runs calling print reverse p arrow next. But observe p arrow next now, p arrow next, p arrow next is nothing but address of 40. So print reverse gets called, print reverse is called with parameter p where p is now pointing at 40. So a fresh function starts with local parameter p pointing at 40. Starting this function print reverse with p parameter p pointing at 40. If you run it, p is still not null. P is very well pointing to 40. So the if statement runs and calls print reverse p arrow next. Now starts the fun part. When print reverse 40 calls print reverse p arrow next, what is p arrow next? Let's see. Let's see the cursor place. P arrow next. This next pointer is null. What that means is print reverse function is called by literally passing null value to this pointer p. Hence, print reverse now starts again. This fresh function starts with pointer p and p is literally equal to null. So print reverse function has been called with the parameter p equal to null. If you start the fresh function print reverse with p as null, you can check the if p not equal to null is false. In fact, p is null now, isn't it? As p is null, the if statement is false and none of these lines will run. The two lines written in the if. So if won't run and if will end. And after the if ends, there is nothing pending, but the function ends. This print reverse function comes to a end. What that means is the print reverse function, which was running, which print reverse was running, by the way, print reverse p with p equal to null. The print reverse function which was running has now finished. See that out of the 5 print reverse functions which were running, this print reverse where p is null is successful in ending. Isn't it so? So the fifth copy of the function has now got over. Whenever the function ends, you know that the calling function resumes. So the calling function print reverse p with p at 40 resumes. It seems that we were at null, and we have come back to the function which was running for 40 with p at 40. So obviously when the function print reverse p with p at 40 resumes, it will resume doing its work. So what was print reverse p with p at 40 doing last time? It was doing this line. You watch print reverse p arrow next, it was doing this line, isn't it? So when the function resumes, obviously it will resume from the next line. The next line is printf. So it is about to print p arrow data, you watch. And p arrow data we are talking about here is 40 because p is at 40. So the first data printed in the output will be 40. I hope you got this. Isn't it so? And now after printing p arrow data, the function ends because there is only end of if and end of the function. So the function print reverse p with p at 40 comes to an end. The function is over because it has finished all its lines. Whenever a function ends, remember, whatever local parameter, local variable were created for the function are destroyed. So I am actually erasing the pointer p. Watch it. I have erased the pointer p which was created for the node 40 because the function for 40 itself is over. So what happens next? Print reverse 40 is over. So it will resume, it will give the control back to its calling function. So print reverse p with p at 30 will resume. We are back to 30 function. And obviously print reverse 30 will resume with printf. because last time print reverse 30 had made a recursive call. So it will resume after the recursive call, that is the next line, and it is printing data. P arrow data now is 30, so the next output printed on the screen will be 30. And obviously, after printing 30, there is nothing pending but end of if and end of the function. So print reverse 30 also comes to an end. Print reverse 30 ends, so the local parameter p created for 30 is getting destroyed. And what happens is print reverse 20 resumes because that was the calling function. Needless to say, print reverse 20 will resume with its printf p arrow data. So printing 20 now on the screen. And after printing data, there is nothing pending in the function. So print reverse 20 also comes to an end. Destroying p local parameter because the function is getting finished. And print reverse 10 resumes. If print reverse 10 resumes, it will resume with its printf. And it will print 10. And after printing 10, there is nothing pending in print reverse. So the function will come to an end. After the function ends, the p is destroyed, local parameter. Now, if print reverse 10 ends, main resumes, isn't it? Main function will resume because main had called this first function print reverse for the heading node, correct or not? For the first node. Look at the excellent method of memory organization or memory management. So many local pointers were created for every function, but when the every function ended, it collected the garbage. This is so very well organized by the languages like C, C++, Java. When we go out of scope, the pointers or the local variables, local parameters are always destroyed. I mean, we have got the linked list in the same state in which we had earlier before calling the recursive function. That's great. But by the way, I hope you have understood how to print linked list in reverse order, singly linked list in reverse order using recursive function. Thank you very much.